Terence Crawford is back in the ring on Saturday night as the former undisputed welterweight champion is fighting WBA junior middleweight champ Israil Madrimov. Fight will go down in Los Angeles. So let's break it down with a boxing writer and editor for DAZN. My guy, Mark Lelinwalla, joins me now. Mark, what's going on?
Dexter, how you doing? Thanks for having me on again.
No, man, I'm good. I'm excited about this fight. Glad to see Terence Crawford back in the ring. I know that we talked last year about his great matchup against Errol Spence, and now we'll talk about him moving forward. So, Mark, Crawford moving up in weight for this one to 154 pounds. Will challenge Israil Madrimov for the WBA junior middleweight title. Now, historically, how fighters fared when jumping up to a higher weight class, and what can Crawford learn from those transitions, seeing other fighters move up in weight?
Yeah, great question. Historically, boxers have had varying levels of success moving up. Look, this year alone, Clarissa Shields, just last week, moved up to become heavyweight champion of the world. In May, Emmanuel Navarrete, he failed at his quest to become lightweight champion. Pitbull Cruz in March, he moved up to become super lightweight champion in March. So we've had varying levels of success with fighters moving up just this year alone and throughout history. What Crawford could learn from those transitions, I think with him, it's more of looking at his recent history. After capturing his undisputed crown at 140 pounds, he went up to welterweight and he did the same at welterweight. But the way that he did it, with 8 straight KOs at 147 pounds, that tells us that arguably his power is growing. So his recent history moving up is an important factor, a vital factor, I think, moving into this fight where he dares to be greater once again at 154 pounds.
Yeah, he's always pushing and challenging that. We'll see if the power is still there at 154 pounds in this fight. Now, we look at his opponent, Israil Madrimov. He's defending his title against a highly accomplished fighter in Crawford. What does Madrimov need to do differently, if anything, to prepare for an opponent like Crawford, who has been dominant at welterweight? What does he need to do here?
He needs to be himself. He has great footwork. He has a great motor. He's unrelenting with his punches, but he also needs to have planned abandonment and adapt on the fly, because Crawford's going to test him with both lining up from orthodox, going to southpaw, hitting him with slicing angles that Crawford does incredibly. And the thing is, he can't make a mistake. You cannot make a costly error. He has a tendency to sometimes leave his feet on punches. You can't do that against a counter-punching god like Terence Crawford. He will make you pay.
Yes, he will. We've seen that time and time again throughout his career. Mark, you and I, when we talk about fights, we always talk about legacy, right? And how significant is this fight for Crawford's legacy, especially as he aims right here to conquer another weight class? So how important is this fight for his legacy?
So if his career were to end before this fight, let's say, I think his legacy is already cemented. Back-to-back undisputed crowns is incredible. So what would this do? It would give him a 4th division title and add another great chapter in an already legendary legacy, I believe.
Yeah, it would. And it's just another notch, I hate to use the term, but like under his belt here, as he could get another belt here and another chapter to that legacy, as you said. And I just think it's one that continues to grow as we move forward with the legend of Terence Crawford. Now, Madrimov, going back to him, seen by many as the underdog in this fight. Mark, in your view, what specific advantages, if any, does Madrimov hold that might allow him to pull off the upset here?
Yeah, at 10-0, 7 KOs against a 40-0 Terence Crawford, the one advantage he might have is the fact that all his fights have come at this weight class, so he's comfortable and sort of cemented in at 154 pounds, while Terence Crawford is moving up to this weight. So he could take solace in that. However, during this week's build-up, we saw that he's not that much of a bigger fighter than Terence Crawford. He stands about half an inch taller, and he's giving up about 6 inches of reach. So those physical attributes, and at 154 pounds, remains to be seen how much he could assert his power and make Terence Crawford feel it.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see there. And you said obviously he's got the experience fighting at the weight, so that could be one advantage that we see here. All right, Mark, here we go. Prediction time. You are the boxing guru. Based on your expertise and the trends that you've observed in both of these fighters in their fights, what's your prediction for the outcome of this bout?
I think Madrimov is an excellent boxer, and he will continue to give fits to opponents at 154 pounds. However, I think Terence Crawford is a generational great, and he is in such a zone that I'm expecting his KO streak to continue. I'm expecting a stoppage mid to, let's say, maybe ninth round, stoppage, him to assert his will and really compute on the fly and download information needed to record another stoppage and become a four division world champion.
Yeah, well, hey, we know he's so good at that, right? Computing on the fly, downloading that information, processing it, and then executing, which is the most important thing. We will see if Terence Crawford can do it again on Saturday night out in Los Angeles against Israil Madrimov as he moves up in weight. That is my guy, Mark Lelinwalla, the great boxing writer and editor for DAZN. Check out his work there. Mark, always good to talk some boxing with you. We'll do it again soon.
Likewise, Dexter. Thanks very much.
Anytime.